It's my journey, it's your journey. You need my help and I need yours. 'Cause we are...
Hello, family. Welcome to Journeys of Faith Super Saints podcast. Brother Joseph Frialdenhoven here at your service. Be sure to look at the description for special information of interest to you. And also, there's more to this blog article. Saint Juan Diego, the humble messenger of Our Lady of Guadalupe. From the hills of Tepeyac to the hearts of Catholics across continents, the story of Saint Juan Diego resounds as a testament to humility, faith, and divine encounter. His life, marked by simplicity and unwavering trust in God, became the stage upon which the miraculous apparitions of Our Lady of Guadalupe would unfold, a series of events that would forever transform the spiritual landscape of the Americas. At Journeys of Faith, we invite you to immerse yourself in the narrative of a man chosen not for power or prestige, but for his open heart and childlike willingness to serve. Saint Juan Diego's journey is more than a beloved legend. It is a living testimony to the power of God working through ordinary souls. His encounter with the Mother of God and the message he carried have united millions beneath the mantle of Mary, inspiring renewed faith and hope within the Catholic tradition. Rooted in the sacred history, venerated by the Church, and celebrated by pilgrim hearts, this article explores St. Juan Diego's life and legacy. Whether you're a lifelong devotee or meeting him for the first time, let his example draw you deeper into the mystery of God's mercy and into the vibrant community of believers moved by one heart, one mind, one spirit, with one vision. Early life among the Chichimeca people, long before the miraculous events that would make him a symbol of Marian devotion throughout the world, Saint Juan Diego lived a quiet, humble life among the Chichimeca people in what is now central Mexico. Born as Cutlatoatzin, meaning the talking eagle, around 1474, he grew up in a region immersed in both the traditions and struggles of his indigenous ancestors. The Chichimeca were known for their resilience and spiritual hunger, sustaining their families amid the great changes wrought by the Aztec Empire and later Spanish conquests. Juan Diego's early years unfolded along the rural fringes of Tenochtitlan, where he labored as a modest farmer and weaver. Unlike the ornate capitals of the empire, daily life here revolved around family, community, and deep reverence for the natural world, a reverence that would blossom into the profound faith he exhibited as a Christian. At a time when his people faced tremendous upheaval, Juan Diego stood as a bridge between ancient heritage and the new Catholic faith introduced by Spanish missionaries. It was in this crucible of change and simplicity that God's grace began to lay its foundation. As one who quietly served, cared for his elderly uncle, and sought truth, Juan Diego embraced the gospel after hearing the good news from the Franciscan friars. His baptism, alongside the renunciation of old idols, signaled not a rejection of his culture, but a sanctification and elevation of it through Christ. This humble beginning, rooted in both hardship and hope, prepared Juan Diego for the extraordinary calling that would follow. His role as a humble messenger for Our Lady of Guadalupe, whose image and message would forever unify cultures and ignite the faith of a nation. Discover more with Journeys of Faith. Walk in the footsteps of St. Juan Diego. Are you inspired by the humble witness of St. Juan Diego and the enduring message of Our Lady of Guadalupe? Journeys of Faith welcomes you to deepen your Catholic journey, whether you're looking for trusted resources, spiritual growth, or thoughtful gifts. Rooted in tradition and built on decades of service to the Church, our mission is to accompany you on your personal pilgrimage of faith wherever you are in the world. Here's how you can connect with us today. Explore our virtual pilgrimages, take a soul-enriching armchair pilgrimage to shrines and apparition sites, stream or download our acclaimed 30-minute videos, deepen your knowledge. Browse our original Catholic books, audiobooks, and ebooks authored by Bob and Penny Lord, experts on the saints and Marian apparitions. Shop inspired gifts from sacramentals to custom items. Discover the perfect gift in our online and Arkansas based Catholic store. Join our prayer family. Stay connected with our monthly newsletter filled with inspiration, reflection, and Catholic resources for all ages. Support evangelization. Your purchases and donations help us bring the message of faith, hope, and love to countless souls worldwide. One heart, one mind, one spirit with one vision. Step forward on your own journey of faith. Visit us at Journeys of Faith and let your story unfold. Baptism and formation in the Catholic faith. Juan Diego's story is inseparably woven into the fabric of the Catholic Church's missionary heart. Born in 1474 in what is now Mexico City, he received the name Cuauhtlatoatzin, the one who speaks like an eagle, in the native Nahuatl tongue. Although he was raised within the gentle rhythms and vibrant traditions of his indigenous community, Juan Diego's life was forever changed when the gospel first arrived on the shores of the New World. The seeds of faith took firm root when Franciscan missionaries began evangelizing in the region. Moved by their witness and the message of Christ, Juan Diego was baptized in middle age, taking the Christian name Juan Diego. His conversion was not a rejection of his heritage, but a sanctification of it, a harmonious blending, as the church teaches, of the good in every culture brought to fullness in Jesus Christ. Under the attentive guidance of the early friars, Juan Diego received patient instruction in the faith. He learned the prayers, the sacraments, and the truths of salvation. Like the first disciples, he attended Mass, found solace in confession, and listened eagerly to the reading of sacred scripture. The catechism became his anchor, and the Eucharist his sustenance on the path to holiness. In a world marked by uncertainty and upheaval, the gospel offered a new vision of hope and dignity, an invitation to become, as St. Paul writes, a new creation in Christ, 2 Corinthians 5:17. Through these humble beginnings, Juan Diego's baptism and formation prepared him for his extraordinary calling. It was this foundation in Catholic teaching and sacramental life that made him receptive to the miraculous encounter with Our Lady of Guadalupe and transformed him from a simple convert into one of the church's most beloved messengers. The hill of Tepeyac, setting of the apparitions. In the chill of an early December dawn in 1531, St. Juan Diego made his way along the footpaths beneath the wide open sky outside newly conquered Mexico City. The hill of Tepeyac rose ahead, a site rich in history, long cherished by the indigenous peoples as a place of prayer and yearning for the divine. Its very earth seemed to hold centuries of hopes and supplications, and it was here, on this humble rise beyond city walls, that God would intervene in history through the gentle presence of his mother. The world into which Juan Diego stepped was one of turmoil and transition. The peoples of the land were wrestling with both the wounds of conquest and the uncertainty of new faith. The hill of Tepeyac stood as a bridge between eras, once devoted to a pagan goddess, now poised to become a holy ground for Christianity's greatest miraculous encounter in the New World. It was atop this rugged hill, amidst cactus and wildflowers, that Juan Diego heard a radiant voice. Looking up, he beheld a vision of immeasurable tenderness. Our Lady of Guadalupe, clothed in the sun, her mantle aglow with stars. The setting was far from accidental. In God's providence, Tepeyac became the stage where heaven met earth. Here, the Virgin Mary chose to speak not to lords or clergy, but to Juan Diego, a simple, faithful man of the people. The apparitions at Tepeyac were not isolated moments. Each encounter deepened the message of mercy, unity, and divine love. Mary's words echoed down the hillside, calling for a church to be built as a sanctuary for all her children. Am I not here, I who am your mother? Her maternal invitation transformed the hill forever. Tepeyac would never be just a place on the map again, but a living witness to God's boundless grace poured out through the hands of Our Lady and the humble heart of Saint Juan Diego. Our Lady's first call on December 9th, 1531. In the mist-laden dawn of December 9th, 1531, on the arid hill of Tepeyac, just outside newly conquered Mexico City, a humble indigenous convert named Juan Diego was making his way to Mass. The world around him was changing. Spanish conquistadors, the crumbling of the old Aztec order, and the first evangelical sparks of Christianity casting new light over a wounded land. It was in this swirl of uncertainty that heaven broke through in wonder. Suddenly the morning silence was pierced not by human voice, but by an ethereal music, sweet bird song where none should be, a melody heavenly in origin. Juan Diego saw a radiant woman clothed in resplendent garments that shimmered like the dawn, standing atop the hill. Speaking to him in his native Nahuatl, she called him tenderly, Juanito, Juan Dieguito, littlest and dearest of my sons. She revealed her sacred identity. She was the ever Virgin Mary, the mother of the true God, and she had come with a message of comfort and urgent hope for all her children. Our Lady's words brimmed with motherly love and a resolute commission. She desired that a church be built at Tepeyac so she could pour out her intercession, consolation, and healing on all who sought her. Juan Diego, awestruck yet emboldened by her presence, was entrusted as her chosen messenger. His humble status, the simplest of men, neither powerful nor influential in earthly eyes, became his greatest strength, for it was the meek that Christ called blessed. With these instructions burned into his heart, Juan Diego became the unlikely herald of a moment that would ripple through history, the first Marian apparition in the New World. The air hung heavy with the promise of miracles yet to come, as heaven's message was placed in the hands of a man with nothing but faith as his shield and the mother's words as his guide. The miracle of the roses and the tilma. On the chilly morning of December 12, 1531, something extraordinary unfolded on the arid slopes of Tepeyac Hill. Saint Juan Diego, a humble indigenous man of unwavering faith, encountered Our Lady of Guadalupe for the fourth time. Following her instructions, Juan made his way to Bishop Zumárraga, carrying a miraculous sign meant to convince the skeptical prelate. Castilian roses blooming out of season, gathered in the heart of winter, a living impossibility in the rocky Mexican soil. Juan placed the gathered blossom within his tilma, a coarse cloak woven from maguey fibers as fragile as his position in society. Led into the bishop's presence, Juan Diego opened his tilma to release the precious cargo. The roses tumbled to the floor, their fragrance filling the room. But it was what appeared on the fabric that drew stunned gasps, a celestial image of the Virgin Mary imprinted upon his tilma, radiating beauty and symbolism that spoke directly to the hearts of all present. This was no ordinary painting. The image bore profound indigenous and Christian symbolism. Our Lady stood atop the moon, clothed in the sun, a fulfillment of the prophecy from Revelation 12:1. Her mestizo features, her posture of humility, and the heavenly design that covered her robe all converged, testifying to a divine intervention that transcended culture and class. The tilma, inexplicably preserved for nearly 500 years, remains an enduring miracle and evidence of God's love and outreach through the Blessed Virgin. Through Saint Juan Diego, the heavens reached out to the lowliest of the land, affirming that dignity and grace know no barrier of birth or station. The story of the roses and the tilma continues to invite all believers into an encounter with Christ through Mary, the perfect synthesis of humility, obedience, and boundless maternal love. Juan Diego's compassion for his ailing uncle The spiritual journey of Saint Juan Diego is marked not just by his obedience to Our Lady's request, but by the profound compassion he showed for his beloved uncle, Juan Bernardino. Even as miraculous events unfolded before him, Juan Diego's heart remained tethered to the needs of his family, a striking testament to the Church's teaching on the centrality of charity and care for the suffering. After encountering the Blessed Virgin Mary at Tepeyac, Juan Diego was filled with awe and responsibility. Yet his concern for his gravely ill uncle overshadowed even the call of the heavenly messenger early one morning. Upon finding his uncle near death, Juan Diego made the difficult decision to seek a priest, desiring to secure the sacraments for his uncle before his passing. It was a choice that reflected the mercy, humility, and practical love that Christ calls each Catholic to embody. In this moment, Juan Diego teaches us that genuine holiness is not a withdrawal from the needs of the world or our loved ones. Rather, it is a deeper immersion into their pain without neglecting the prompting of God. His actions underscore that faith and compassion are never in competition. The miraculous and the merciful are woven together in the life of the disciple. As he took a different path to avoid delaying help for his uncle, Our Lady appeared along the way. Her words of comfort, "Am I not here, I who am your mother," provided more than miraculous assurance. They highlighted the maternal care of Mary for every soul, especially in times of trial and uncertainty. Juan Diego's willingness to care for his uncle, even at a moment charged with heavenly importance, reveals a saintly model for every Christian soul: to love deeply, to serve humbly, and to trust unceasingly in God's providence. Bearing the message to Bishop Zumárraga, when Our Lady of Guadalupe entrusted Saint Juan Diego with her divine message, she called on a humble indigenous convert to act as her voice to the Church. With deep reverence and trembling awe, Juan Diego journeyed across the hills to present himself before Bishop Juan de Zumárraga, the newly appointed Franciscan Bishop of Mexico. Carrying nothing but his faith in the Virgin's words, Juan Diego stood as a bridge between worlds, the native peoples of the Americas and the shepherds of the universal church. The early encounters were marked by humility and uncertainty. Bishop Zumárraga, cautious amid reports of visions, asked for a sign. Undeterred, but with the heart of a son, obedient to both his heavenly mother and the church, Juan Diego returned to Tepeyac Hill, eager to carry out heaven's commission. He embodied trust in God's providence, neither exalting himself nor despairing over his social status or lack of influence. On the morning of December 12, 1531, following the Virgin's instruction, Juan Diego gathered fresh Castilian roses, impossibly blooming in winter, within his tilma. It was the sign requested by the bishop. Yet Juan Diego remained unself-conscious, intent only on fulfilling Our Lady's wish. When he unfurled his tilma before Bishop Zumárraga, the miraculous image of the Blessed Mother appeared, imprinted on the rough cactus cloth and radiant with heavenly significance. Now, this singular moment crystallized Saint Juan Diego's mission to bear God's message in docility and faith to the highest authority in the church in Mexico. His meek cooperation with God's will is an enduring witness to every Catholic that no matter our background, God calls the lowly to do great things if only we answer with open hearts, steadfast service, and unwavering trust. Through Saint Juan Diego, the story of Guadalupe became not just local history, but salvation history made present and alive in the church. Symbolism encoded in the Guadalupan image. The image of Our Lady of Guadalupe as revealed to Saint Juan Diego and his tilma is suffused with a wealth of symbolism, each element meticulously chosen by divine providence to speak to the peoples of 16th century Mexico and to inspire the faith of generations ever since. The Virgin's mantle is a vibrant turquoise, a color reserved for royalty among the indigenous peoples, proclaiming her as both the Queen of Heaven and a mother who meets her children in their own world. The stars that spangle her cloak are not random. They mirror the constellations visible over Mexico City on the morning of December 12th, 1531. In this celestial tapestry, God links heaven and earth, affirming that this encounter is not of human invention, but of divine origin. Her eyes remarkably reflect the image of a bearded man, interpreted as Saint Juan Diego himself, captured with mysterious detail well before the age of modern imaging. Scholars and devotees alike see in this tiny human form a testament to the personal call of every believer by the Mother of God. Beneath her feet, the crescent moon demonstrates her victory over darkness and evil, echoing the scriptural portrayal of the woman in Revelation, clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet. The angel supporting her bears both jade and rose hued wings, jade signifying the divine, and rose signifying the human. He is a messenger between two worlds, reminding all who gaze upon the image that heaven touches earth precisely in the person of Our Lady's Son, Christ. Around the Virgin, rays of golden light emanate in every direction, signifying that she brings forth the light of the world, and at her waist a black ribbon is tied, a universally recognized Aztec sign of pregnancy. Mary presents herself as the Mother of God, bringing Christ to all peoples with urgency and tenderness. Every element, every color, every gesture in the Guadalupean image weaves together Catholic doctrine and indigenous understanding. It is a catechism in color and light, a reminder that God meets us where we are, offering signs pregnant with meaning and invitations to faith. Indigenous encounter with the gospel. The story of Saint Juan Diego is inseparable from the larger narrative of the Gospel's encounter with the indigenous peoples of the Americas. Born in 1474 as Cuauhtlahuac in the Talking Eagle, in the region near modern day Mexico City, Juan Diego grew up steeped in the spiritual landscape of the Aztec world. But in 1524, only a few short years after the Spanish arrived, the spark of the Catholic faith was carried to his people by the Franciscan missionaries. Juan Diego humbly received baptism and chose the name Juan Diego, an act that marked both a new path and deep respect for the faith being presented to him. Yet this encounter was not simply passive reception of European Christianity. Through the miraculous apparitions at Tepeyac, the Lord's message came to the indigenous in a radically incarnational way. Our Lady of Guadalupe appeared to Juan Diego with distinctively indigenous features, speaking in his native Nahuatl language and adorned with symbols that resonated with his culture and people. In the tilma, imprinted with the Blessed Virgin's image, Yesamim Virgin Gershon Reader, the church's teaching and love were revealed as universal, bridging centuries, languages, and customs, and the humility and openness of St. Juan Diego became a living lesson of evangelization rooted in authentic dialogue. By trusting in Our Lady, this gentle man of simple means became an apostle to his people, demonstrating that Jesus Christ seeks every heart in every nation and that the Catholic faith flourishes where it meets the local soul with authentic respect and compassion. Hundreds of thousands sought baptism after the apparitions, a testament to the power of the gospel lived and proclaimed through real, tangible acts of faith and fidelity. Legacy of humble obedience. St. Juan Diego's legacy is not built on grand speeches or monumental achievements in the eyes of the world. Rather, it is woven from the threads of quiet humility and unwavering obedience. A simple indigenous man, far removed from the centers of power in 16th century Mexico, Juan Diego responded to Our Lady of Guadalupe's request with a heart open to God's will. His humility was not weakness, it was strength rooted in trust, allowing him to become a vessel for a message that would bind together a people and a continent. He could have shrunk back when bishops doubted his vision or allowed his shame over his humble status to silence him. Instead, Juan Diego returned time and again to the tilma, presenting himself as a servant, never presuming to interpret the miraculous, always deferential, always faithful to the Mother of God. This humble messenger said yes to God through Mary and thus became the unlikely bearer of a miracle that would ignite the faith of millions. Saint Juan Diego teaches all who seek holiness that God calls each soul, no matter how lowly, to participate in the divine plan. True greatness, as he embodied, comes not from prestige, but from a willingness to trust, obey, and love without reservation. In a world that prizes self-assertion, Juan Diego is a radiant icon of what it means to quietly and persistently walk the path of the gospel, letting God's grace do the rest. Conclusion: Saint Juan Diego, a call to humble faith and evangelization. Saint Juan Diego stands as a radiant example of humility, obedience, and unwavering faith, virtues needed now more than ever in a world searching for meaning and hope. His yes to Our Lady of Guadalupe was not merely a simple assent, but a courageous act that transformed the Americas and continues to touch countless hearts across centuries. As we reflect on his legacy, the message entrusted to him of God's closeness, of Mary's maternal care, and of our own mission to bring Christ to others echoes down the ages. At Journeys of Faith, inspired by the devotion of the cloistered Augustinian nuns of Montefiasco and guided by Catholic tradition, we invite you to look to Saint Juan Diego for strength on your spiritual journey. Whether you're a parish leader, a catechist, a parent, or someone seeking a deeper encounter with God, his story invites us all to answer God's call with the same humility and trust. Through our virtual pilgrimages, media, and curated Catholic resources, we seek to foster a vibrant faith united as one heart, one mind, one spirit, with one vision. May St. Juan Diego's gentle witness inspire us to carry the message of Our Lady into our families, parishes, and communities. Prayerfully, necessary, and with steadfast love, and about Journeys of Faith. At Journeys of Faith, our mission is to evangelize through Catholic media, bringing the truth of the Eucharist, the love of Mary, the example of the saints, and powerful testimonies into everyday life. We believe that by sharing these living treasures, we can help build one heart, one mind, one spirit, with one vision. Your support enables us to continue creating and distributing inspiring books, devotional items, and digital resources to deepen faith and renew hope. Please consider making a donation or exploring our collections today to support our work. Thank you, family, for listening to Super Saints Podcast. Happy Thanksgiving. Remember, we have Thanksgiving weekend sale at journeysoffaith.com. Be sure to click the link in the description for special news item, and since there is more to this article, finish reading and check out the special offer. Visit journeysoffaith.com website today.
It's your journey, but we won't make the trip alone, 'cause we know God will lead us home. It's our journey of faith. It's our journey of faith.